button. There we go. I would love for whoever admin is to say hello or talk to us. It'd be nice to know who's on the line with us. Not sure who that is. Okay, well, we're recording the call today and we'll be sharing it on our socials and in through our newsletter. And I'm sure there'll be some folks who will join us because we had a great list of folks who would be attending today. Sometimes the time zones get a little wonky. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. We are excited to have you here today. We'll try to keep moving along. We will also try to be respectful of the hour and stay within it. There will be time a little later where we'll be doing an exercise, so that'll be a great time to ask questions, but please put your hand up as we're going, because if we do have the time, we'd certainly welcome questions and interaction. So welcome. Of course, this with what we're doing today, this masterclass is your book is not the end. It is the beginning of something so much greater. We are going to talk about how to expand your reach, amplify your voice, and build your legacy. So what I want to do to begin with is just talk about a couple things that had happened when I was doing my books, which are Unwavering Strength. I actually have them here. I usually don't bring them on and I don't usually talk too much about them, but what is really cool is that back around 2013, I knew I wanted to write a book. I just wasn't sure how to do it. I wasn't sure how I was going to go about it because I didn't see a full book in me. But with all the life things I had gone through, I thought, what a great story to tell and leave the legacy of those who had passed. So that's when I came up with the idea of Unwavering Strength. It is a compilation book. So I began it in 2013. I came up with the idea. I had the cover done and I sat with the idea. I started, I stopped, I started, I stopped, I started, I stopped. And finally, 2015, it's time to get going. We need to get moving. Had the book all ready, had everything done, all the, can you move it back, please?
Okay.
I don't know whether you have it on timed.
Oh my goodness.
You're going the wrong direction.
Hang on. Good. My computer's not liking me today at all. There we go.
So the book was all the editing done, the book was completed, and I was about to hit the publish button. And honestly, I froze. I panicked. I thought, I can't do this. And the coolest thing is, I was telling Anna Maria this the other day, the coolest thing is once I made the decision to push the publish button was a day that it actually, that's the second time that there was a massive event in my life that changed the course of where I was going. Because that was the moment that I knew we were going to switch into publishing as well. I didn't actually realize it, but yesterday was the 10th anniversary of its release. And so it's 10 years. Thank you. That's 10 years since we started actually working on publishing and marketing. So the few years before was marketing. We were doing bestsellers. That's when we worked for Hay House, HarperCollins, all those guys. So my point is that it's funny how you get that overwhelming sick feeling and you're not sure you should go. You push the button and you go. And today we're here because of that pushing the button that day, which is pretty cool. But what is also really pivotal is that we set the date for September 30th. We had a bunch of stuff going on, book signings, we had an event, we had an online event, we had a pile of merchandise that was created for the book. This was the first one. There was two more that came besides that after that time. But we had a ton of stuff done during the live event, which was probably one of the most memorable days of my life. Is that the authors, the contributors, actually presented me with the necklace I'm wearing, which is the logo that we continue to use throughout everything we do. So it was pretty wild. It was, we were doing why we did it, but we did. We did the online event at the same time. We had 250, I think, partners. So that was a massive undertaking in itself. The live event where we had 20 authors coming in, plus a whole bunch of other people. We had a hotel, all that entertainment. It was just an incredible feat. We had cards created, gold cards. We had bookmarks. We had coins. And of course, we achieved international bestseller. It was an incredible time, incredible day in our lives. But what happened was around the end of October, I'd say, the quiet. It was almost deafening. It's like unbelievable at that time because I honestly had one of the hardest times. So to go from one of the highest times to one of the hardest times in a short period of time, I just sat there and I thought, I don't know if I have the energy. I don't know what we're going to do next. I don't know what to do to keep the momentum going. I don't know how. We sold literally probably 2,000 or 3,000 copies during the release, which was pretty darn good. I was very happy with the release. I was happy with the results, and I knew I wanted to go into publishing, but I couldn't get the energy. Couldn't figure out what to say, who to say it to, how to do it. And of course, we don't have social media as much then as we have today. But it's amazing how those two times, from hitting the button to want to do something till that day where I sat in my chair and thought, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I just don't have the energy. It's incredible how that moment, that time changed the course of the rest of our time. And how you think something that isn't great is not going to mount, or why did it happen, or why do I feel that way? And it actually turns into one of the most transitional times in your life. So with that, I just want to mention, I wanted to share that story with you because I felt it's important you guys know that we're not just sitting here publishing books, and we absolutely know what that life was like. We've lived it, we felt it, and that's why when this opportunity came up a couple years ago, it's like all of a sudden all the pieces of everything came together. And I knew this is what we wanted to do. And every single time I feel it or I think about it, I get so incredibly excited because this is ultimately, that allowed me to get in front of thousands and over time, a lot more people because the book continually sells. I got I think it was a 79-cent payment yesterday for the book, which is the book selling. So the payments still arrive, but it's amazing how it's a pivot for where your life will lead you to. So with that, I think we'll hand over the virtual mic to Anna Maria.
When Judy shared her story first with me and told me what she had planned to share with everyone, I thought it was so perfect because it really is in that moment of quiet, of stillness, that you can kind of figure out what's next after that big high. So as you kind of read through all of this, and I'll go through options and what is possible next, I wanted to first invite you to think of it, or listen not with your external ears, but with your heart's ears almost, from the perspective of that you already did the hard work to write down, think about, organize a message, a methodology, a process that you have. And that is what most people struggle with to begin with. And you already have that. So from this point onwards, if you can bring forward that message and see how else does it want to be shared in the world, could it be through the form of courses or workshops or curricula for schools, for the young ones in grade school, or the older ones in university, or even the young ones that are past that point at really any age? Could your book be transformed into speaking engagements and be an active participant in different communities that are calling to you? How about transforming your book, especially if it's an ongoing process that you see people going through, into things like podcast series and digital shows? Is that your next step? Is your book perhaps just the first step that people need to take, and there's so much more that the doors opens with afterwards? Could be a really good option. And then you have the exciting world of TV, short films, documentaries, and featured films, right? Short films are a world that I'm going to pause on that one, that is very underrated. And we're excited to even see how that plays out. We have Tess, who we work with, and she's a genius in creating not only books, but then distilling that message into a short film and then doing the awards circuit just to get the message and the visibility out there. Animation and children's series. We're really big on loving to get your message in front of children. We truly believe that they need to hear it in a different way as well. So no matter if you wrote a book for grown-ups, there's something that the little folks can hear and learn and get a head start from where you were at when you discovered your message or discovered your methodology and really entered into your power in that way. And then there's other things that you could do in terms of only audio if the video bit is not quite your thing. So again, podcasts we mentioned again, but meditations are amazing. And dramatized audiobooks, especially if you have anything related to fictions or stories, to have characters and almost play it in an audio way is becoming quite big. And then you have all sorts of literally everything else in the interactive media. You have games, everything from board games to digital games on apps, digital learning. So there's quite a lot of options for your message to find its way, to find its path as to what feels right. Maybe it's something you've never thought of before. Maybe it's something you had an inkling that was building up to. And maybe you really just need that certainty that, yes, it's a yes, I'm going to go try it. Maybe it's logical, or maybe it's not logical at all, but you want to do it. So we're really inviting you to open your imagination to what's possible next. Something we're super passionate about is this visibility pathway, because there's lots. Your book is the first step, and you do need to get it out there. So we always want to think about it in the sense of, you've got your audience that you need to grow. It could be on your own platform or somewhere else. And then you have things that other people can grow your platform for you and with you. So in the education and entertainment, and in the distribution and legacy bit, we have options that Judy will always tell you she's so excited. She's pinching herself every day. And you'll see some numbers in the middle, in a little couple of slides coming up. about the amount of eyeballs that could be on your content. It is mind blowing to think that we have this doorway open. And we're just really excited to start playing with you all in this realm, to be very honest. Here's our here's our baby that we've been working on quite hard.
It's true.
And honestly, as I said that, I said, no, Anna, it's wrong because this is probably the oldest one that we've been working with. It's our eldest child at this point in terms of distribution opportunities. We're super passionate about it and we'll always keep talking about it because through the World Trust Network is how we can get your book, your lesson, your message, your way of thinking that changed everything for you into content in the school system. And I mean, to think that I never thought possible that I would be sitting here telling you that we have a chance to influence the curriculum that the teachers take and literally play and work with the students. So it is just amazing. And I hope every one of our authors can do this to get to that level of influencing the next generation. So, a couple of numbers: 133,000 schools that we have access to. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's big. Um, More than just the traditional public school system in the US, there's also the homeschoolers that will have access to this. And that's 3.7 million people that can go and again see your course, your lesson plan, your curriculum that you created for these teachers to pass down to the students. Libraries, and of course, they're going to be streaming on public platforms. And these are the big names that we know about already: the Rokus, the Fire TVs, the Androids, the Apples, and the iOSs. And the fact that not only are they in this way available on the public side, because all those the Rokus, the Fire TVs, that's your phone. That's your ability to watch on a tablet. That's your ability to, when you travel, somebody can watch it on an airplane, your course. Like that is unbelievable. It's so portable. And of course, on their TVs at home.
It's actually almost unimaginable to be able to get this kind of a reach. It truly is mind blowing. We want, as we're creating books, we're thinking of tens, if not hundreds of thousands. But to have, yeah, Deborah, exactly, unlimited possibilities, exactly. And to know that you're going to reach like tens of millions of people. But what the best part about WTN, and that's why I wanted to interject, is that the numerous calls we've had with Alex, the one thing that keeps on coming up that we're in full alignment with is reaching the education system, reaching the kids, but to teach them things that aren't, we're not necessarily worried about being part of the STEM program and creating the maths and sciences and all that. What we're trying to do is teach them about life, teach them about, the Bob Proctor legacy, for example, what he always taught about, the mindset, the money, the health things, like teach them differently on different subjects, but also teach them by ed, ed, ed oh my God, I keep getting this one wrong, edutaining. So entertain them while educating, because I know my 8-year-old great grandson, he's not going to sit still. So if we made it interactive and fun for him, I guarantee you he'll want to learn. Only he won't even know he is learning. That's a fun part. So the fact that they're so passionate. I mean, we talked to Alex yesterday. She had sent an email, I think at 3 o'clock in the morning, said, can we talk the next day? Only to be told she's hopping planes and flying all over the place. And she is going to an incredible amount of front of schools, libraries, churches. And the really cool thing was she's making sure that Hasmark is part of her presentation, which shows us that they're not only placing us in, they say they're placing us in highest respect, but the fact that they are doing it too is really important, and that we are one of the chosen ones for content. Teach at a higher frequency. I absolutely love that. Of
And
love, patience, learning.
speaking of content, we are this close of also submitting our own course. So I know while we're asking everyone all the time, let's turn your book into a course, we are definitely needing to match that energy too. So we're going to be on there as well. So
And just
that's
before, it is cool. And just before we go on, Carol asked if, what if I'm not good with tech? You said it right here. Can I write? You can write, or if tech you mean like, I'm not sure whether that means, say, being on video or something. So can it be a written course? Absolutely, yes. You can create visual things so that it's a little more appealing. Doesn't mean you have to be live. Doesn't mean you have to be crazy. I love that. Deborah, you're bang on today. You're hitting everything. And it is at any age. If I can learn at this age too, you can. I think my great grandson will be teaching me.
the way technology is progressing for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So while we
Exactly.
covered WTN and our path that we've been walking with them for the last year with the school system, they also have a public side. They're gearing up to open. We've been told August, we've been told September, but right now we've been told before the end of October. And the really cool thing is that there is another channel. Well, not another, our channel, Hasmark's channel. We get to have one and we get to fill it with content. And that is what we need the most right now from every one of our audience members. You guys have, if you're not interested, for example, in creating content for the school system, create something for everyone else, essentially. And that is not a student in that particular way. For me, who wants to learn about more meditation or about hypnosis or about aromatherapy, I see you, Dr. Deborah, right? You could put a little teaser for a bigger course. You could put your full course. You could do, again, everything from the podcast to the videos to the series to interviews. Um, One of our authors is desiring to see if she can drop people in energy space, in that liminal space, and walk with them and see what spirit has to share. And they're so excited about everything because, like Judy mentioned, what we bring to the table is not maybe your traditional math or art course or grammar course. It's things about life that they're going to need to learn one way or another. They might as well learn it in school as well. And the teachers are hungry for this type of content.
They absolutely are. Like, WTN is so excited the fact that we have this channel. The only thing stopping our channel from going right live right now is we need content. And that's you guys and ourselves, but that's you guys. We want you to bring the content because they're ready for it and they're asking for it. And because of the relationship we've built for them, they absolutely love what we're bringing.
So if there's any inkling of an idea you have, something you can um, tweak to get it in there, my goodness, please book a call with us because we would love to talk to you, see what's next to be done, see how we can support, or just be there to cheer you on if you know how to do it, or if you need that tech support, we can help with that too. But yes, this is the exciting part. Couple more to share. Most recently, we've been chatting with Squirrel Vision Network. and they are another amazing bunch. So while WUTN, if we think about it, they're really in the realm of that education realm-ish. A little bit of overlap with entertainment, so that edutainment. But Scroll Vision Network is really more of a blend of the two. Um, they are starting out by the end of the year. They're planning on being on literally every smart TV out there, and that's 250 million global households. That is another mind boggling
Yes.
number to know that your content, well, at least the way I see it, if I knew my content when I go on my TV and scroll and go past Netflix little icon and past the Amazons and get on Scroll Vision and click on it, and then I see, oh my goodness, my content can be there. That's wild. I need to
What
get on board to create my own content, Judy.
exactly you do.
Like
I keep
every time I give these
telling you
presentations.
that. What's really cool right now is we planted the seed with Squirrel Vision TV that we want an edutainment channel. They don't have one. They're not considering anyone else to do it. So we literally can create, but we must create the content. We must have several programs booked and ready to go before they will accept that channel. So let's get going. It's easy to do. We just got to get at it. So, and by the way, I had to share this. I do use AI a lot for things like putting together the slides, and I asked them to create the I created the agenda with Anna Maria and Jen. I then said, can you format the slides? And I have to laugh because the biggest weakness, I love AI for helping when you're marketing things, but this is clearly one of their downfalls, just as a point of reference. You can use AI. I would use AI to enhance things, not create things. They help in the marketing, they help in visuals. But I asked AI, what went wrong with this slide? And they said to me, the best thing you can do with AI is create the visual background, but don't use it to put the text on the page because it does this. I could not get this to fix. I could not get this to reformat. So I just thought I'd share that little bit of a side note with you guys because it's one of the things I sometimes have words with AI about. As I'm sure you guys have experienced.
We loved the squirrel. We couldn't quite give it up though. And lastly, the distribution opportunity we've been developing and nurturing is with Best Ever Channel. And they have actually, it's funny because I don't know, Jody, correct me if I'm wrong, if they're more of a network, but they have channels
Yes,
everywhere. Um,
that's
that they
exactly what they are.
right? That they kind of can put our content in there. So with them, we wouldn't have our own. But because they're kind of, so for example, just to give you an idea, Dave shared in about 2 weeks ago that they were one of the first to get on Amazon's Prime's network when Amazon began to stream. And because they were one of the first, Amazon gave them their own channels there, which is not so. And I'm noticing this pattern with networks. The more we're going into that streaming world, when a network opens, they'll give channels so that they can also curate content, and then they close that, and then they start creating their own. So Best Ever Channel has a direct line to Amazon Prime. So if you've ever wanted or dreamed or thought about turning your book into movies, we talked a little bit about documentaries, even, or anything in that realm. They are one of the they are one of our best direct source that we can get this done. In addition to Amazon Prime, which to me is a really cool one, they
Yeah,
also
290 million subscribers. Yeah.
indeed.
In
um,
fact, while you're there, we actually have a movie that we've been watching, we've watched it and we've seen it live lately. And when it's time, we'll announce what it is. But We've had the discussions. We actually have the contract to bring the movie into this visual, this world right here. What's really cool about something like Best Ever Channels is that they have the history. They didn't just show up. So what I love about this whole thing is one of the biggest, hardest things I would say to do in life with anything that you're doing, books, courses, whatever. It's finding the voice, the finding the audience, finding the people who listen. Well, the Best Ever Channels, the WTN, the Squirrel Vision TV, they have the listeners, the viewers, and they're doing the marketing, not just us.
And speaking of the marketing, one of the sort of insider things that I've learned and that I've noticed as we talk to Jonathan, who is our contact from Best Ever Channel, he is so good at letting you know when we approach him with a project of what the best way is for you as the creator to move into the streaming world. So he'll literally tell you, first go here, first do that, first do this. And it's so well thought of in terms of a marketing, in terms of what your current business model is, that to me is amazing to have as a guide because you're not
Yeah.
going in blind. You're being held in a completely different way. It's not just put your movie out there and then, or whatever video
Oh,
style
yeah.
of content you have, and then that's it, goodbye. There is a bit of a plan as to how to make it work and how to extract almost like, I almost want to say like maximum life and opportunities from it, because he's pretty clever in terms of how he organizes all the things. So I just want to put that out there because it's not something that I would have ever known, and I just wanted to share it.
And he's lived it. I mean, he's the one who he worked for the big guys before. He worked for the Disneys and I forget which other channel or network he worked with. And that's how he began. And then he decided he would create Best Ever Channels. And he has a bunch of channels on his network. Um, but he found through time how to refine it and get the eyeballs watching. And that's what he said. He said it takes about, how long did he say? 3 years before a channel's actually starting to be heard? 4 years?
3 to 4 was three, I think, was pivot. Four was like it's going. Yeah.
And we're even finding that with WTN. They're relatively new. They aren't a channel that's been established, and their business, what they've done is established, but the network itself wasn't established, even though it was established in part. But Alex is literally getting on a plane almost once a week, once every other week. And she's going into the schools and the churches and the libraries and she's talking to them. She's continually pitching what they do. Exactly. It's phenomenal.
So a couple of case studies and inspiration in terms of, so for the last year, we have been working with authors and just creating different styles of contents with them. So this is sort of what we wanted to share to see what's happening behind the scenes and what other folks are doing. So right now, there's quite a lot of authors and creators that are creating that educational content for WTN. It is, we have a process, it's like a well-oiled machine. We do have a film project in negotiations for Amazon Prime and Pluto TV, which Judy shared a little bit earlier, which that is so exciting.
That's
We also,
amazing. I
right?
can't I can't imagine having an opportunity to get a movie onto Amazon Prime. Like that's mind blowing for me. But
We do, I kind of maybe spilled a little bit of the beans earlier, but we do have award-winning shorts and original music scores alongside that are going on the networks as well. And part of it um, is maybe something that winning an award is a vanity metric, but at the same time, it's quite helpful. And if that is an interest of yours to go and do that circuit, it is really inspiring. It's similar to getting a bestseller. It's another one of those stepping stones that if you're interested in, we can do that. And of
Yeah, in
course,
fact,
we're
in fact, Tess is working on a program that can offer helping you to do your own award-winning short film. And she'll talk about the process of what needs to be done to get the film created and then what to do to get it through the award circuit. Because I've seen her put through a film that was, I think it was 12 minutes long. I saw another one that was 5 minutes long. And the coolest thing was we weren't as involved in the longer one, but the shorter one, which is, I think, just over 5 minutes, we actually watched it. We helped with the book. We then saw the animations coming to life. We then knew and are working with her team as the short was being created. And then watching it pop onto the award circuit was just phenomenal. So,
gosh, I wish I could remember the ones that she won, but I think she's up to like three for that one. Maybe in the replay email, we can add that in because it's just really, really amazing. The little things you could do that you never even knew were options. And of course, we're working with amazing best-selling and award-winning authors. And as Judy always says, and we're just getting started.
exactly. One of the things too that another thing that just came up yesterday, because I was on a call the day before and I was talking to a gentleman, and he had been a professor for many years and he stopped working and he's writing a book. And I said to him, where else do you want to go? What else do you want to do? And he says, I want to teach again. I would love to be able to teach. And so when I was talking to Alex yesterday, I said, how do we make that happen? And she said, when we go public, she says, you're going to push a button. I said, pardon me. And she said, yeah, you're going to push a button and you're going to be live on the network. So people can actually be streaming you while you're there physically, just like watching the news or whatever it is. I thought, wow. So even that part of it, you might want to start working on getting some scripts ready and written for that one. I love
That's def-
the comments that are coming through. So
so with everything that you've learned, I feel that you have a sense that there's quite a wide variety of spaces and areas that you can go into. Everything from written lessons to the full shebang of a full-blown movie and literally everything in between. And I know Judy wanted to guide us through this exercise to just kind of drop in a little bit deeper and see what's your next best step.
exactly. So I think what we'll do is talk about first, we'll answer any questions because we have time, and that's what we're hoping. We're hoping we're going to be stopping. I can't believe we're actually at the exact time we had hoped. That doesn't happen too often. But great day. So now we can answer questions. We can also, I'd like to start talking about some other ideas. We came up with some, but I want to talk about your ideas. Why don't we sit here for the next 10 minutes and let's um, talk about what ideas you have to do. Kathy, we can welcome a call if you want to. Thanks for joining us today. And we'll be talking to you soon. So appreciate you being here. Thanks, Kathy. And I know there was a comment. What's the difference between Deborah? What's the difference between education and edutainment? That's a fun one. And that's exactly what that is. it's educating in a fun way. Um, it's I'm trying to think of something other than Sesame Street. That's the best thing I can think about for a child. Um, so it's engaging, it's fun. There's I have edutainment. I think it's going to have to be a little more live or podcasts, or could be interviews that are interactive. Um, what other things would make it? Edutainment is all in the presentation style. I agree with that, Michelle. It is in the presentation style. It is really taking education material, and it's how you present it in a different way. You know, going into classrooms and just having material that they read and they hand out. Even the exercise, though, if it's live, that then becomes edutainment, not education. So, because a lot of times homework isn't edutainment, but if you're acting it out or you're having them create scenes in the classroom, that would be edutaining them. YouTube University. Yeah. Yep. Another one. Exactly. Exactly. So, does anyone want to talk about other ideas? Bring about what they're doing. Michelle, you raised your hand. Let's bring you on. We're seeing all your messages, but I'd love to hear you talking to us too.
Is I came in a little bit late. Are you talking about classes just for kids?
No, no,
Okay.
we have the opportunity right from kindergarten through to whatever age. In
So I
fact, they're
taught
going.
art for 40 years from kindergarten to adult. But when I started teaching other material, I found that I would not teach a child under 18 without their parent there as a private teacher. So
Right.
because my stuff that I teach, symbology is an interesting subject because that's how humans communicate.
Yeah.
It's the only way we can communicate. So it has its it has its very academic pursuit, and you can look way back in prehistory and learn about prehistory through the symbols that were left. And that's what I did my thesis on. But it also has a lot of entertainment value because art is symbolism, because writing, mythology is storytelling symbolism. So there's a lot of entertainment possibilities with this subject, but I wouldn't I don't think I would. I did do a presentation in California. This was like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, called the symbology of cartooning for kids in a like an art camp environment. But this is the only thing I've really done for kids, and it was cool, and I could redo that. But to me, it's really more of a they ought to teach this in school. You ought to learn about how this works because it's like being literate. But for now, the stuff that I teach probably would be better for adults, but I can do that. And we've got probably 150 print and digital products, and we've got video classes and podcasts. We got
Wow.
all kinds of material. Because this nonprofit, we're working on material that it's this archive is enormous. So we're still, and Jay does nothing but produce. We've got videos and we've written books and all of that. But I can put together how long would a class be? Is it like an hour's teaching in just one class, or is this like a semester? What is going on?
Oh, so
Okay,
they've
open field,
received
do what you want.
honestly, they receive, because it's not just it isn't the traditional STEM.
Yep.
That's very structured, right? But in our case, it could be one class.
Unless you
It
make
could
it
be one
STEAM
week.
and put art in the middle. It really
Yes,
should be. I taught
exactly.
that
It
for 40
should
years.
be.
Why did they leave me out? That's very
Yes,
annoying. Okay, so
I
I understand. So
agree.
I could put together I don't want to call them webinars, and yet it's not a master class, but I could put together a series of like 3 1-hour interactive webinar classes And we could
Absolutely.
supplement that with free videos and with offerings of books. And even we do our ebooks with they're shorter and they're like PDFs that are ebooks that they could download and just, have 20 pages to read if that's all they want. So all of that is a good idea.
Absolutely. Great idea. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
how does this work with this company? I mean, what is
So the way it works with WTN is, first of all, they're exclusive. So when you create content, it will be the only place it's sold for the period of the contract. They
okay?
were, they're going to ask you for a 3-year contract, but they only really need you to confirm for the year. If you decide after a year you want to break out, you've decided you want to go in a bigger way, different way, then you can withdraw. And you just put it in writing and go.
So they want something put together specifically for them. Because
Yes,
my content is it's enormous. It's throughout everything, but I could put together a series that is
correct.
of the same information that's everywhere else
And
for
they're
them.
okay
That's
with
great.
that.
I love that.
Yes, the only thing is with them, they're a secure network. You cannot lead your material anywhere else. So, for
That's fine.
instance, we put a course together. We had done all on letterhead. Well, guess what our letterhead has? Our website. We had to go and take it all apart and redo it all. So as long as you keep no outside
No links.
links, yep, I
No,
know
it's
that
not
it's
for
exclusive, and
promotion.
it's okay if it's similar to something existing, but as long as it's, you know what the exclusive
Oh, I do. And so,
means.
but that's really cool because one of the things was that I mean, I've been involved with Peggy for 5 years. One of the things that I talk about when we're in master classes about how do we make money, it's not always about the money. I write the books because I want the material known. And this is an opportunity to teach the material to people who want to learn the material. That's a blessing. It doesn't have to be to market me somewhere else. I got to do that anyway. But this is really an opportunity. It's like, okay, you want to do a TED Talk. Well, I don't necessarily like the TED Talk circuit. I do
Right?
it, but it's an opportunity to teach. And
Yes.
I've been in that. I haven't taught in a long time. I do presentations with PowerPoint slides and all of that, which is probably the entertainment of how I would teach this.
Correct.
But that would be interesting. Besides, once you get known there, people who learn yours, they're going to go look for you anyway. So
That's
you
it.
don't
You
you don't need to do all this commercial stuff surrounding the class because I'm good at what I do.
exactly.
I know my subject, and they will be fascinated and they will want something else. And this is amazing. I like this idea.
Yeah, honestly,
I would look you
I,
up.
my heart and soul's right in here because this is what I think is what the world needs today is this. And whether we like it or not, we're going streaming. All the
Well,
cable and all that's
but
going
that's the
away.
way it should be.
Yeah,
It should be.
exactly.
It's a very economic and very effective way. Now, I am also not a person that wants to, I'm not a social person, but I think people to people energy exchange is important. I don't think we should live in entirely a virtual world. I don't think that's healthy. But for learning, it should be because you can get an expert in Normandy that's teaching something you can't find locally and you can still learn it. This is amazing. This is really good. I have a call scheduled with you in October in a couple weeks, so we'll talk.
Great. Absolutely. We'll talk. Yes, I think it would be incredible. I already know that based on the dozens of calls with Alex, she'll be on board. She'll
Oh,
take it in a heartbeat.
oh,
And
absolutely. Because I mean, I've spent my life teaching and I've already written and I've got all this material, but I want people to learn it. I want them to
there you
understand
go.
why this world of symbology is so cool.
And I think you can. It's great you want adults. She's actually got a couple of engagements coming up, and she said they're going to just suck up your content because you're different than
Oh, I
STEM
am
speak.
different. This has not been a good thing for most of my life until recently. Now I'm very happy that I'm different.
Exactly. But I still think in time, Michelle, we're going to get you to do a children's course because you said it, and I think it's important. And that is part of where I think is, let's teach children differently.
Well, we can. I mean, I could do it because they like cartoons. I mean, look at emojis.
Yeah.
This is like cave art to express what you're
Yeah.
trying to say in the picture. It's like what it is. And that's what
Yeah.
cartooning has been forever.
Yep.
So, I mean, this was 30 years ago, when cell phones were brand new when I did this thing, but it's very relevant. As a matter of fact, I co-taught with a guy that was a cartoonist, but he used to draw for Playboy magazine. I thought that was a really interesting company. He didn't present any of that in the children's thing, but that's who he was. It was interesting. I can, but I think to begin with, it would be better for me to just do what I'm actually in the process
Yes.
of doing.
That's what we usually say is
Yep.
do what's easy at first so that you'll get used to also the system and the process and you'll
Yeah.
understand all the deliverables. And then they're welcome. Like I have quite a few authors who have done that more than
What's
just
the
one.
attendance going to be like? Do you know?
The attendance,
Yeah, like when I put the class out there, what kind of draw will it have? I imagine it will build over time.
exactly. That's what I think. I think this is just the start of something
Is this
because as they
evergreen
build.
that we're doing, or is it live?
Right now it's evergreen. We aren't
Okay.
live yet, but we're about this close to live.
Well, because I could do evergreen and they could have complete, exclusivity on that product for however long they want to do it. That would be an advantage. To do something live where I have to be on Zoom, that takes more consideration and more time. I can do it and I've done it, but evergreen for me at the beginning is better.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, just to interject, when we do get on a call with you, you will probably get a little bit excited slash overwhelmed slash all the feels because we love brainstorming everything else you can do.
Oh, I don't get overwhelmed.
Oh,
I'm the one that does
amazing.
the overwhelming usually, so we'll be good.
I love it. It'll be so fun.
Okay.
And from that, just to piggyback what Judy's saying, yes, what you have now, let's get in you with what's the easiest way in, because just to keep adding becomes a lot easier. You know the process, you know kind of what to expect. You have time to maybe modify a couple of things for the children's versions, or maybe you want to go on the best ever channels and do something there too, because my brain's going.
Well, that's good. Brains should be going. That's what they're made to do. Okay, so that gives me a good
Exactly.
place to think about before we get on the phone. And it won't be I can even record this. How do they do you know how they do it technically, or we can wait and talk about that later? Do I send them a Zoom?
Yeah, we'll go through all the technical
Okay.
stuff at the time that we talk. That'll be part of what we'll be doing is
Okay.
that we're going to talk about all the deliverables they need. So as long as you start working on what it is your content is going to be, then we'll talk through all the academics
Well,
or
I think
the,
mythology is a fascinating place. So I might actually start with teaching, and it isn't mythology like you've learned in any ever other school. So it's not
oh,
only is
very
it
cool.
entertaining because we're talking about zombies and goddesses, but it's a new perspective and new information is drawn from it. So I might actually do that one first.
Amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. Perfect.
Okay.
I'm
Do what
looking at the
feels right.
time, and we do
Yes.
have maybe if we can sneak in Michelle, one more person, and then we get
Oh yeah,
to
I'm done.
two
Thank you.
people.
Thank you,
Amazing. Thank you
Michelle.
so much for coming on and sharing everything that you do. And if anyone else is interesting, it would be amazing to have the contrasts and different ways of transforming your content that you already have in your body of work.
And we know that Deborah's all set to get her stuff put together, and she's working on it, and she's been doing videos, and we're already seeing those. So I can't wait for you, Deborah, to join us. And we appreciate you being here today. I know that some people have already dropped off, so I think if anyone does, if not, we're going to wrap up, which is basically set up a call. I did drop a couple times the calendar invite in there. If you need help because you're not even sure of what you're going to do and you think it'll be beyond that, book a call. Then we have a creator circle. There is it's on our website, and it basically works with you to get your content created. And we're going to dig deeper into what content is great here. How do we get the content created? What content? What other ideas can come out of it? That's what we're going to do on the next masterclass, which is November 4th. So with that, I'm guessing everybody's good. Excellent.
What time on November 4th?
At noon
At
Eastern.
noon?
Same time.
And we'll get a link? Will I get a link?
We'll be sending out a message. I'm guessing Anna Maria doesn't have any links right now, so we'll put that in the email.
Yeah, no, just before it
today.
happens, I'll get reminded.
Yes, you will.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we'll send an email from today to give you a copy of the recording and the link to book the next class. We'll send all these links in the email, because unfortunately we didn't have them here. We did have the calendar though. So, okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate everyone being here today, and we look forward to the magic that you guys are all going to create. Thanks, everyone. Have an awesome day. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.